finally.
Okay, thank you. Okay, nice to welcome you all. Hi to all. This webinar will be recorded, as I told you. I think I have to told you, so I have to tell it again. The webinar will be recorded. Okay, my name is Dario Rodriguez, and welcome all. I will start the presentation now. So the title is The Last Economy: Sustainability, Trust, and Distributed Intelligence. From the inversion of intelligence to the engineering of trust. This will be our subject. It is thought that we are at a civilizational crossroads. Some of the core assumptions behind our economic systems are being reshaped right now, reshaped by powerful technologies. I think we are living an historical moment, a transition moment, as we will see in a few moments. So, especially artificial intelligence and blockchain are changing how we understand, or how we should understand, scarcity, abundance, and value itself. This shift calls for a new framework, one that helps us to navigate this transition with the help of new infrastructures of trust. So let's start. The classical economic trinity of labor, the production factors, labor, land, and capital, has governed human civilization for millennia. But today, two of these pillars, capital and labor, are being fundamentally transformed. Blockchain transforms capital, and artificial intelligence transforms labor. This transition marks the end of an era in which non-programmable money, non-programmable capital, non-programmable assets, and human labor were the main foundations of value creation. The production factors, labor and capital, making it urgent to redesign this change, this transition makes it urgent to redesign our social and economical systems. Money is a dynamic database, is a database, it is an information system for labor allocation. And now labor is changing, will become non-human mainly, and that changes money too. That changes that database, that dynamic database, which is money. Such a dynamic database is now rebuilt with tokens and smart contracts and some concepts that I will try to make it simple here. As the same time that AI remove, and that's the word, remove human labor from the center of the economic system, with problems in redistribution of resources, and as we will see. If I can summarize this, when work learns to think and programmable money thinks, automated, intelligent, cognitive, automated labor thinks. When work learns to think with AI, money must start to make sense with programmable money, with blockchain and digital currencies, and many different tokens, as we will see. There are authors like Imad Mustak, we will talk about him a lot in this presentation, that think that we are living a metabolic rift, a metabolic rift, in this precise moment that intelligence is becoming abundant and distributed, and the price is falling a lot. Chat GPT 5.2, the last week it went out. It brings a lot of novelty, but the biggest novelty is the price, the fall of the cost. the cost is falling, the intelligence is becoming free. So, for most of human history, intelligence has been our scarcest resource. Our education system, labor markets, even social hierarchies were built around this scarcity, around the basic fact that intelligence was limited and unevenly distributed. But this equation is about to flip completely. Within roughly then 1,000 days, according to Mustak, 1,000 days, I mean 900 days, because this was in the summer, so 900 days more. And artificial intelligence is expected to reverse this logic, okay, in about 3 years, okay, 2 years and about 3 years maximum. Intelligence, according to many authors, intelligence becomes abundant, and what was once rare and precious starts to behave like a commodity. Intelligence becomes a commodity. So here we can visualize a divergence. AI capabilities are improving along exponential curves, while the economic value of traditional human labor is stagnating. It goes in a flat line, and intelligence goes in an exponential line. So this metabolic economy that sustained human societies for nearly 10,000 years from the agricultural revolution can no longer compete with the silicon-based agents that operate at scale and require little more than electricity. Doesn't sleep, doesn't have requirements, food, etc. So, our economic systems were built around human limits: the need to eat, the need to sleep, the need to rest, the constraint to work within physical and geographic limitations. And productivity, for all these reasons, scaled slowly and more or less linearly. On the other hand, silicon-based agents operate under completely different rules. They run on electricity 24/7, scale globally, and improve exponentially. A pricing system designed for human metabolism simply can't function when one of the actors plays by a different physics. The physics of the system is changing. So there is a gap between biological-based and silicon-based economies. That is the metabolic rift I talked about a few moments ago. So, according to Mustak, which I agree, society has to reimagine value itself before economic collapse. He said 1,000 days in the summer, so 900 days more or less. And I think the provision, the calculus is more or less correct for what I think too. So, in my research for a few years, I've been exploring the shift from scalar to vector money. Even before this AI boom, traditional money is essentially one-dimensional. It measures quantity, but it's blind to context, quality, and consequences. It's blind to all that. Money is blind. It doesn't look a euro that we spent on education looks exactly the same as an euro spent on weaponry in destruction. So in GDP terms is precisely the same. Programmable money changes that. By encoding rules, ethics, and use cases directly into digital currency, digital money can carry not just exchange value, but also purpose, also use value. As you know, value has two faces. In economy, we have the value of exchange or value of use, and now programmable money integrate these two kinds of value. So capital and labor becomes one. Okay, this is very important. I mean in civilizational terms. So we are moving from money as a simple scalar to money as a vector, combining value of exchange and value of use. What's interesting is that this isn't entirely new. In fact, the earliest forms of money in a pre-monetary age were already multidimensional. Let's see two short video examples about this. I hope I can do it here. Let me just try to do it here. I hope I can. Let me why can I okay, yeah, let me just show you. I hope it works. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, so it doesn't work. It's a video. It's 3 minutes video, but I'm clicking here, but nothing happens. I think let me just do one thing here. Perhaps I can do it. Let me just, okay, yeah. Are you seeing the video?
Decentralization,
Yes.
ethical democracy via block.
Okay, this one.
Episode 3, Incentives Beginning, a Ledger System. It all starts with incentives, and that is where this series begins.
Sound,
In the
not the video.
You are not seeing the video? Oh no. Why not? I don't know
You
why.
had to reshare that window, Professor.
I have to what? Sorry, come again.
Reshare the window of the video player.
Restart it.
Não. Tem de partilhar a janela especificamente do reprodutor de vídeo.
Okay. Let me. How can I do that? Let me just go to Teams again and try to partilhar a janela. Let me just. Não, partilhar uma janela. Ok. Para partilhar, se calhar tenho que partilhar outra vez. Para partilhar. And partilhar again. Ok, janelas. Where is the video? Yeah, okay. Now I think you see it. Yes?
É isso.
Okay, let me just. Okay.
Full democracy via blockchain and artificial intelligence. Episode 3, Incentives Beginning, a Ledger System. It all starts with incentives, and that is where this series begins. In the digital age, an ethical society needs substantially different economic incentives from today's. Let us begin by understanding the true nature of money and refuting a myth propagated in economics books. Currency was not the starting point for money, which emerged thousands of years before coinage and the creation of currency, certainly in small communities where value transactions were not limited to the monetary or pecuniary dimension. At that time, money possessed an intrinsic human richness, functioning as an accounting system based on the words given in groups where everyone knew each other. Naturally, our ancestors soon discovered how to overcome the limitations of direct barter. In those days, a moral commitment was qualitatively valued above materialistic quantification, and people quickly established logical agreements over time instead of making incongruous immediate exchanges. Thus, money originated in the brain, in mental records of reciprocal obligations and contributions based on the calculated values of products and services, such as plowing the land to pay off a debt contracted in exchange for a good. In other words, as soon as our brains developed the capacity to establish such mental records, money evolved as a system rooted in human memory, encompassing rights and duties to settle debts and credits of a very diverse nature. Today, digital currencies and other cryptographic tokens serve as virtual counterparts to those mental records. Mathematical reliability is collateralizing and replacing the trust once held in the promises of yesteryear, making digital money revive the qualitative dimensions of ancestral transactions. Conventional currencies, which are one-dimensional and do not incorporate value other than pecuniary, cannot achieve such capacity. This monetary gap is an ethical limitation that helps explain morally questionable practices and effects, such as exorbitant interest rates, excessive bank profits, and systemic inflation. Fortunately, Blockchain and AI may contribute to reversing this situation, enabling the organization of secure, decentralized transactions. These transactions can once again be multidimensional and convey other values rather than the value of money we have become used to dealing exclusively with. Furthermore, decentralizing the role of financial auditors is essential for preserving democracy and freedom in the digital age. AI-enabled blockchain networks and their transparent transactions make that possible, unleashing a new distributed trust and empowering civil society in the 21st century. And artificial intelligence. Episode 4, Back to the Future of Money. To complete the first stage of our journey, let us return from our trip to explore money's origins. Our way back to the future of money makes a short stop at the Yap Islands in the South Pacific, where we will have one final glimpse of primordial money, observing a system of credit and community trust that was still in place 2 centuries ago. On these Micronesian islands, coins were stone discs weighing several tons. Thanks to the memory of the natives of Yap, they were used to settle transactions for centuries, even without passing from hand to hand. The monetary system of these islands operated for centuries thanks to the same operational principles as cryptocurrencies, whose transactions are recorded on globally distributed ledgers or hyperledgers. Just like the stone coins of the Yap Islands, digital currencies settle transactions without clinking in people's pockets, this time on a planetary level. With them, money may become again a system of credit and settlement, capable of representing multiple value dimensions. This is because, unlike conventional currencies, digital tokens have various functionalities expressed in smart contracts that articulate complex transactions. If this seems too intricate or unfeasible in today's global village, do not underestimate the power of artificial intelligence and computing in the 21st century. Smart contracts and digital currencies allow us to reclaim the original essence of money, stipulating debits and credits according to needs, regardless of the number of transaction parameters involved. Thus, a decentralized digital approach globally expands transactions memory while enabling better ethical oversight of financial incentives. By differentiating tokens' utilities, we can reward ecologically and socially beneficial transactions and demote harmful ones, fostering a more responsible and equitable ecosystem, which is crucial for sustainability. In the following episodes, we will see that digital currencies are not simple means of exchange, but agents of profound change in human relationships. We have embarked on a journey that intertwines the values of the future with those of the past, and nothing will be as it was before. Nevertheless, we will achieve the best of both worlds as long as we follow an enlightened political path.
Okay, so I selected these 2 videos, but this is a longest video series. But now all I want is come back to the presentation, go back to the presentation. Let me here, I think. Yes, and now oh. Somebody is trying to come in, so how can I go back to the presentation? I have to select again, stop. I have to stop the sharing. Where? Sorry, but Teams is not my beach, so
not mine.
perhaps one
all
can,
the professors.
perhaps one can give me help here. How can I go back to the presentation? I have to suspend this sharing. Juan, are you there?
Sim, professor, é isso que tem de fazer. Tem de
But where
deixar
is
de
that?
partilhar este ecrã e selecionar mais uma vez.
Isso queria eu, mas parar de partilhar. Okay. So, yep. And now I will go and present this again. Okay. So, yes. I think, oops, sorry. I think you are seeing this now. Partilhar, I think I make a mistake here, or Yes, now I have to go here. Okay. So I think now I'm sharing the right. Okay. So in my research, I explore this. I show you the two short video examples I was talking about, and we can change the slide now. Okay. So, Mustak, Imad Mustak, in a book of 2025's book, The Last Economy, which I choose for the title of the presentation, he indicates the mind model. The mind model establishes 4 dimensions and can be a dashboard, a better dashboard than GDP. GDP it becomes misleading. It's misleading right now, but will become very much misleading with AI. Misleading for societal well-being. In fact, in my own earlier work, I explore this with a complementary idea, a previous complementary idea, which I called programmable money. Is the digital money that we are becoming to have. Now we will have that in the digital euro, like 2026 or 2027. We will hear about it. We should discuss this right now, but we are not discussing that, which is a pity. And the core argument is simple. If intelligence becomes abundant and automated, money needs to encode more than just price. More than just profit, more than just the scalar dimension. Money can't be unidimensional. Through tokens and smart contracts, money can reflect social, environmental, and contextual value. As the money of our ancestors in a pre-monetary era, as we saw in the video. So taking together, these perspectives point to the same conclusion. Relying only on GDP, relying on GDP alone no longer makes sense in an economy shaped by automated intelligence. We need more multidimensional ways of measuring value, welfare, and progress. So, Mustak breaks value down into 4 key dimensions. Material, which is ecological sustainability and environmental health resources, which can be tokenized as verifiable on-chain assets. That value can be quantified and verifiable thanks to blockchain. Intelligence, which means collective knowledge, innovation capacity, and educational access that can be also measured and incentivized, is very important, through cryptographic proof systems. And the diversity, cognitive variety, cultural resilience, and ecosystems robustness, which can be also valued and they are protection against systemic fragility and can be valued through programmable money too. And finally, network. Social cohesion, institutional trust, and cooperative capacity are quantified through distributed ledger relationship. These technologies, distributed ledger technologies, are very important because of that. Can make trust available to all, can distribute trust, and such generalized trust reduces coordination failures and transaction monitoring costs and supports long-term growth in a much more efficient way. So therefore, these 4 dimensions becomes tokenized assets classes. Okay, and creating markets for what GDP ignores, but civilization requires. These 4 dimensions all of them can be tokenized. So, but this mind model demands a new conceptualization of empathy itself. We have to see empathy in another with another glasses, with another optic, because with AI we have to do this, because a new mental framework is needed to tracks to make empathy more suitable to recognize other entities, not just humans, but also animals and also digital minds. We have to, any entity that has, let's say, an internal state that matters to itself, its balanced experience, if an entity has that, an empathic concern can validly extend to it, whether its substract is biological or not. If it is sentient, we need to empathize. Empathy is needed. This expands the moral circle to non-human animals and potential digital minds based on their capacity for suffering or having or being well-being and goal-directed behavior. If an entity has goal-directed behavior, as it is starting to happen with AI, this is more important than the physical composition of the entity, physical composition. So empathy, we are used to have empathy with we don't have empathy for a rock or for, but we can have, we are used to have empathy for biological beings, and we have to seek for a new mental framework. Okay. This is very crucial. Empathy becomes ethically actionable when three capabilities work together. Let's see these three capabilities of this new framework. Perceptual recognition, the skill to detect and represent another agent's internal state, signals of distress, preference, or intention. We have to perceive that. Perspective sensitivity, the capability to simulate, understand those states while preserving self-other boundaries with no emotional fusion, the perception of the other, and moral responsiveness, the capability to translate understanding into ethical action, restraint to do some things, to be care about, some things like turn off the electricity, to care, to fairness, and to harm avoidance. Okay. From empathy to trust, this is it's not a big jump. The new idea here is that empathy isn't just a moral issue. It's a coordination technology. Like trust. Trust used to be a human issue. Now with distributed ledger technologies, it is not anymore. It's more than that. It's a coordination mechanism. The same with empathy. Please let me try to explain this. In an intelligent, automated driven intelligent economy, broader moral concern increases trust. And trust reduces coordination failures and transaction costs. Blockchain-based distributed trust makes this scalable by embedding rules and verification directly into the infrastructure. And the same logic applies to AI. This is very important. Treating advanced AI systems as part of our moral and institutional landscape pushes design away from exploitation and toward cooperation. And this is very, very important to settle these new guidelines, moral guidelines, in a system that will become more intelligent than us. This is crucial. And finally, when trust is embedded, socially and technically, institutions become more inclusive and innovation translates into shared prosperity rather than extractive gains as it is right now. Money right now is just that. And this is crucial for civilization development in the age of AI. So, it is now clear that without ethical frameworks, AI abundance may degenerate into informational chaos and surveillance dystopia. A few years ago, I developed a cyber-ethic mix framework. It emerges from a line of research I have been developing since 2012. It's built around 4 pillars: privacy, property, precision, and pervasiveness. Together, they answer a simple question: how do we design trust in an exponential technological world? And these aren't abstract values. They are practical design requirements for digital infrastructure. I will synthesize the 4 elements: privacy, the right to selective disclosure and informational self-determination; property, the right to data dignity through ownership rights; precision, the right to verifiable truth and provenance in a world of AI synthetic content and deepfake; and pervasiveness, the right to universal access and equitable distribution of technological capabilities. Sorry, I jumped some slides, but I think you understand what it's just what was being said. But I think
Yes, of course.
yes, and the presentation will be available. So, sorry. Privacy and property, and the privacy, let me just rephrase here very quickly. The privacy versus surveillance dilemma. What it demands, this dichotomy, this trade-off, somehow demands proving identity without revealing identity, which seems impossible, but it is not. It is possible thanks to cryptography, advanced cryptography of blockchain and other cryptographic techniques like zero knowledge proof and homomorphic encryption and other techniques. The tension here is very simple. If every transaction and movement is traceable, inclusion comes at the cost of surveillance. Cryptography offers a way out. With those zero knowledge proofs, it's possible to prove that someone is unique, adult, or human without revealing who they are, where they live, or what they do. Privacy and verification no longer have to be opposites. It's very important to have a proof of personhood. Very important in the next times of advanced AI that can mask, can pretend to be human. So the key point here is that privacy isn't protected by secrecy alone. It's protected by changing how trust is organized, namely from centralized surveillance to distributed cryptographic trust. And after that, after privacy, we see property. Human-generated data creates economic value. Those humans deserve compensation and control. Blockchain enables micropayments with very fast resolution, and that can be used to pay for attention, pay for content. The economic value of posting, clicking, generating content, paying attention can be rewarded. Previously were treated as a free resource, now can be rewarded. Blockchain enables tokenization of information assets, allowing individuals to monetize their data contributions while retaining ownership. This is very important. This redistribution of this redistributes wealth from data aggregators to data creators, which is crucial. Creating incentive structures that value authentic human-generated content over synthetic alternatives. Regarding precision, this is a crucial element. Smart contracts can authenticate digital content, prevent deepfakes by cryptographically encoding creation metadata like timestamps, ownership history, verification signatures, making it practically impossible to forge media without detection. So, in a world of potential infinite synthetic content, truth requires cryptographic proof. Blockchain serves as an immutable ledger, validating the origin, chain of custody, and authenticity of information. So, we need a cryptographically anchored truth in the age of AI. Finally, regarding the pervasiveness element, here is all about access. This P was hard to find. Pervasiveness, the possibility of access, if you will. It's the 4P. There's a mnemonic. The 4 P's of the cyber ethics mix, and here is everything is about access. Ethical digital systems must scale inclusion, not exclusion. So blockchains enables distributed trust, lowering barriers to participation, allowing people, even without formal identity or an intermediary help to securely take part in economic and informational systems without centralized control. Without this, the value will be redistributed to elites, not to the common citizen. So this is very important to inclusion. The digital pervasiveness makes trust scalable and inclusive without relying on centralized intermediaries. So we arrive to the three political architectures of the future, according to Mustak, which I agree a lot. There are a window, as I told you, of 1,000 days to choose one of the three political architectures. I call your attention that these technological capabilities of these three scenarios are the same. It's not a matter of technology. What differs is the political and economic architecture constructed around that technology. One of the futures is digital feudalism, where centralized AI is controlled by a handful of corporations and states. In the scenario, surveillance capitalism meets authoritarian efficiency with maximum concentration of power and wealth. And the future is fragmentation. This is a scenario of balkanized technological ecosystems, of regional AI systems, incompatible and even hostile. Here, digital tribalism replaces global cooperation and innovation stagnates through islands, to isolation, competing AIs. Finally, the best case scenario is human AI symbiosis. In this third scenario, distributed intelligence and distributed trust amplify human capability. Cooperative frameworks balance automation with agency. Prosperity occurs through partnership rather than exclusion and displacement. The alignment between ethics, incentives, that's what we will pursue here, is crucial. If we don't do nothing, one of the first two scenarios will happen, or perhaps both, not the third one. The third one demands proactivity. The others come by default. So crypto economy is a system where cryptography secures value. Cryptography secures value, incentives, and coordination without centralized trust. It is possible to leverage crypto economic principles to engineer a symbiotic relationship between humans and AI. Traditional money is scalar, as we see, pure exchange value, divorced from purpose. On the other hand, crypto economic systems introduce vector money, incentives, encoding use conditions, externalities, and collective goals. Decentralized apps and peer-to-peer networks may function as institutions for collective action. Nothing to do with collectivism, it's completely different now. We can have collective action with private initiative, which is very pragmatic, and it is very important. It's not an utopia, is a way to don't have a dystopia. So it's different. Enabling decentralized governance of global digital commons. So incentives over intentions. What this means that, okay, I agree, circular economy, generosity, sharing, that is all very beautiful, but to be pragmatic, we should consider incentives over intentions. Incentives has to take precedence over intention. It's the way to do it. And with the crypto economy, symbiosis becomes the economical, rational equilibrium. And this is not utopian, it is very pragmatic. So it seems crucial to leverage crypto economic principles to engineer a symbiotic relationship between humans and AI. Is a matter of, as I said, of incentives over intentions to pursue this rational equilibrium. Human labor is being displaced. It will be displaced very quick in 2026 and 2027. 2026 will be a transition year, and everybody will understand that most of the people will be a shock for many persons. And many authors are now speaking about universal basic income, but my research and others authors' research conduct to the idea that universal basic compute is more important because it will be about democratizing cognitive production, can be translated into universal premium services. It goes beyond universal basic income. It is true that universal basic income may stabilize consumption on the demand side, but also can be too prescriptive to democracy. The economy, in an economy where intelligence has near zero marginal cost, universal basic compute may stabilize participation too, from the supply side. So just giving money to people, just UBI, universal basic income, without access to computation, with that, human agency may collapse into dependency. That's the big problem. This is about preventing structural obsolescence. The cognitive production of goods and service with the help of AI becomes the new means of participation, much better than send money to people. Universal basic income may solve economic problems, but don't solve human problems. But universal basic compute may solve both. Okay, so it's the way to go, in my opinion, not just my opinion. Conclusion. So the last slide, Maria. Okay. The conclusion is simple. It seems to be less than 1,000 days now, 900 days or so, in what Mustak calls a systemic phase transition. We are living a critical phase where institutional inertia collides with exponential intelligence. I will not talk about the presidentials, but we don't even talk about this, which is dramatic. But this inertia collides with the explosion of intelligence, and that collision can be very dangerous. The present choice is not ideological, is architectural. Society must choose between codified trust and distributed incentives on one way, and an irreversible concentration of power on the other way. So there are two possible futures, let's say. Although cryptography and crypto economics does not guarantee human AI symbiosis, it does not guarantee, but it is considered to provide a most resilient and efficient outcome. The civilizational question is no longer whether we can design symbiosis, but whether we really choose to deploy it or not. This is the question. We have to debate these issues, and we have 900 days, not too much, 2 years or 3 years. Some authors think is less than that. Some authors also think is a little bit more, no much more, 5 years. But if I say 2 years, for me, 2 years, I think is a very plausible number. Some authors think is the next year. So one thing is sure, we see every week, we see the intelligence, artificial intelligence becoming more and more intelligent, and very important, less and less costly. The cost of intelligence is going to zero. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. And this is the bibliography. I think this will be available to all, and I'm here available to any question you must have here or later. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dario. So interesting and absolutely in line with all the work that we are going to have during the next year in our research hub. As you all know, we have already a master's degree approved here in our School of Education, in the pedagogical and also in the scientific board. So it was very good to have this presentation, because it will also highlight a lot of different ways to think about it and to reflect about this issue. So thank you, Dario.
Thank you.
And the floor is open for questions, please. So without questions, we can say that, Dario, you are very, very focused. You were very focused, very clear. So without question. Yes, Ana da Silva. Sorry. We have a question from Ana. Please, 5 minutes, because we must enter in another meeting in 10 minutes, and I must have 5 minutes to get up. It's not enabled. Please, Juan, can you check what is happened? Because Ana da Silva doesn't have the availability to have the macro. Juan?
Sim. Agora.
Ana, please.
Okay, now I have. So
Okay.
the microphone was not available and my camera is not available. So do you hear me? Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Ana.
So I would like to say some things because I'm very much interested in solidarity, economy, and social money, like in Las Palmas and other banks, social banks, and I've been working on this since 20 years now. And I liked your videos, but I have to watch them again and compare them to a very good videos that are called The Value of Money. And what occurs to me to tell you is that in your vision, your vision challenges scarcity in the digital world, but risks leaving material inequality intact or even reinforced, unless questions of ownership, power, redistribution of wealth are placed at the center rather than treated as secondary effects of technology. And when you talk about utopia and pragmatism, and you choose pragmatism, I stay a bit worried about that. I don't know if you understand me or if it was clear. Sorry.
Yes, I understand you very well, I think. Yes. And what
So
is your
I don't know
question?
what you can say because it's very interesting, your vision, and I didn't know this guy Mustak and what you explained, but according to everything you said, and you tried to justify, I'm not convinced. I think AI, it may be abundant or cheap, but it does not mean that wealth will be abundant or fairly shared. And even if intelligence becomes widely available, the ownership of infrastructure, data, energy, platforms is likely to remain concentrated in some hands, and meaning that the economic benefits of AI may still flow mainly to those who control capital, not to society as a whole, not to a community, a local community. You understand my question? I don't know, my worries. Yes.
Yes, I understand it very well. It's a matter of
3
ownership.
minutes, sorry.
So it's a matter of ownership, and it's all about cryptographic keys. Who has the keys? Who have? If the keys are private, if each person can have his keys, each person can can own their own data, its own data, which will not be true if the keys are centralized. In fact, is a little bit the opposite of we imagined till now. Till now, we imagined that socialism and the concentration, the planification if a cooperative, if someone can centralize and concentrate the power, then can be generous afterwards and redistribute that. Let's say that collectivism is the way to distribute the ownership. And nobody has real ownership. It's a collective ownership. That was the old formula, which I was in RDA. I was in socialist countries, and I saw what that means, and it really doesn't work. Anyway, now is not needed.
Yes,
Hopefully, now that is not needed, because we can have ownership, private ownership, and at the same time we can have collective action because of those keys. So the trick,
yes,
the trick.
Dario, but unequal
So-
starting positions of people in terms of income, land, housing, health, security, the starting positions of everyone. I don't know how you can reach that when you think of the starting positions of the persons, of humans. You understand what I mean?
If wealth becomes abundant, the real problem is distributing that wealth, not the.
But that's the problem.
Yes,
And
but
with AI,
Yeah.
in the way that you present it here, I'm not convinced.
Okay, maybe we can talk in
Sorry, we
But
must
thank you very
close.
much, because I learned a lot, and because I didn't know that Guy Mustak, and I didn't know that you worked that so well. So I'm very interested in continuing dialoguing with you.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
you.
so much, Anna, and also Dario, for the answers. And please, Dario, if you don't mind, send us and send to the research hub, and also directly to Anna, the links of your films. Thank you so much to you all. Don't forget that we are not going to have our next webinar on the 5th of January, because we are going to have our conference in the 20 and 21 of January. Thank you so much. And please, all the colleagues from the Research Hub, please move to the other meeting, because we are going to start in time. Thank you so much again. And again, Dario and Juan, thank you for
Thank you very
your
much.
time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.